Right now at 4:30, it's a big day in campaign 2020. Democratic presidential candidates are waiting for all the votes to be counted and wrapped up on this Super Tuesday.
Yes, this is the biggest election day on the party's primary calendar. Voters in 14 states and 1 U.S. territory have been casting their ballots all day long. And from those states, there are more than 1,300 delegates up for grabs. All night long, Channel 3's Dennis House and Chief Capitol reporter Susan Raff will be live in Massachusetts.
And we're going to start right now with Dennis. He is just across the border from us in Springfield. Dennis, how's it going there?
Mark and Aaron, good afternoon to you. Yes, voter turnout here, we're being told, is a little bit higher than normal. Millions of Americans all over America are going to the polls today. We don't get to vote in Connecticut until April 29th, but today is Super Tuesday for so many people. It's basically a four-person race. Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, Michael Bloomberg, and Elizabeth Warren. And 14 states, their names are on the ballots, including American Samoa.
It's the most important day of the 2020 presidential election thus far. Joe Biden is hoping his big weekend in South Carolina will help in today's Super Tuesday.
Get up! Let's take back this country. We're the United States of America, and there's not a single thing we cannot do if we do it together.
The former vice president is getting endorsements from former candidates Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar, and Beto O'Rourke.
I cannot think of a better way to end my campaign than joining his.
As for the current frontrunner, Senator Bernie Sanders cast a vote in his home state of Vermont, one of 14 states in American Samoa voting today, with roughly a third of the delegates at stake.
To beat Donald Trump, we are going to need to have the largest voter turnout in the history of this country. We need energy. We need excitement. I think our campaign is that campaign.
Sanders has an edge in delegates and polls in key states today, but the former vice president is now trying to consolidate the moderate vote.
The Democrats want a nominee who's a Democrat, a lifelong Democrat, a proud Democrat, an Obama-Biden Democrat. Then join us.
Michael Bloomberg and Elizabeth Warren have direct ties to Massachusetts, and both are considered wild cards there.
Now, it's not official and not scientific, but the people I've been talking to after they vote, it's pretty much split, Biden and Bernie Sanders. I did get one vote for Amy Klobuchar. She is still on the ballot here. There are about 10 to 12 people on the ballot here in Massachusetts. And here's what some of them had to say.
I voted for Biden.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Was he always your person?
Yes, he was. I had romances with other candidates in a different realm, but when you boil it down, I think he's a known commodity.
Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders. Why Sanders?
Well, I think he could do the job.
Biden, because he's the only one that has a chance to beat Trump.
Biden. Yeah, Joe Biden.
It's very interesting, but here we are in Elizabeth Warren's home state. Not a single person I spoke with said that they voted for her. By the end of today, we should know a little bit more about the field, and it's possible it could thin even to a smaller crowd. Right now, we have about 4 official candidates, 4 big candidates that you see on the debate stage for the next debate, which is not until March 15th. Let's go to Channel 3's Susan Raff, our Chief Capitol reporter. She's in Boston today, taking the pulse of the voters there. Susan, what have you learned?
Dennis, you're absolutely right about Elizabeth Warren. This is a very important state for her. This is her home state, and she needs a win here. She needs more delegates. But from what we're gathering here, a lot of Bernie's support is here. Bernie Sanders has certainly done a lot of campaigning in the Bay State, and some polls show he could win tonight. As for Elizabeth Warren, she was voting this morning in Cambridge on this Super Tuesday. We tried to get a sense from her campaign where she's going to be tonight, but we have not been able to confirm that. The person who seems to be gaining the most momentum here is Joe Biden. In fact, he's considering it, calling it Joe-mentum. As you mentioned, he's picked up a lot of support, not just from Amy Klobuchar, but Pete Buttigieg, both dropping out. And he did have a big win in South Carolina. We were in Northampton earlier today, and we did have a chance to speak to some voters there. Can I ask you who you're voting for?
I really am embracing Vice President Biden.
He's gotten a lot of support over the past 24 hours.
And he's loyal, and he's really committed, across all cultures.
So Joe Biden seems to be doing well against South Carolina, and the fact that he's picking up some support. And he does have a lot of support among women and people of color. But as for Bernie Sanders, as of this moment, he certainly has the most delegates and has won 3 of the 4 contests. Now, coming up later on Eyewitness News at 6, we'll talk to some of those Bernie Sanders supporters about why they like him, but are still not convinced he can take on and beat President Trump. For now, we're live in Boston, Massachusetts. Susan Raff, Channel 3, Eyewitness News. Dennis, back to you.
Okay, here in Springfield. Susan, thank you very much. Coming up tonight on Eyewitness News at 5, we'll be talking to a voter from Connecticut who comes up here to help campaign for his favorite candidate. We'll also give you a closer look at the ballots. They are much bigger than you might imagine in terms of the numbers of people on them. That's all coming up tonight on Eyewitness News at 5. Aaron and Mark, back to you.
All right, much more to come on this Super Tuesday night. Dennis, thank you very much.
And be sure to stay with Channel 3 all throughout the night tonight. Starting at 8 o'clock, CBS News will have an election special, followed by live team coverage right after that on Eyewitness News at 11.